Hello and welcome back to another edition of the E Show, episode number 6. Once again, my name is Neil Ravin, the Director of PR and Social Media for the Eastern Hockey League. Another week, another guest. Want to welcome in Jerry Domish of the Philadelphia Junior Flyers. Thank you for taking the time this morning, Jerry. Welcome to the E Show.
Thanks for having me.
So, Jerry, we'll jump right into it. Obviously, it hasn't been the ideal start that you were looking for coming off of a championship season. Did you feel any added pressure was put on your team coming off of that championship last season?
No, I think the real problem was, and I addressed this with the guys, I always try to tell them this isn't the 16-17 Junior Flyers, this is the 17-18. I think they thought they were going to come in here and we were just going to win because they were here.
Well, off of that, you had a lot of guys obviously make their commitments last year. You had one of the highest totals in the EHL. But you did have a few guys come back, and in particular, Rupi and Platt. How important do you think it was that you at least had those two guys come back to help lead your team this season?
Oh, it's huge. It helps because even though we have 2 or 3 guys in the coaching staff, it's like having 2 more so that they can give them their experiences and why you want to buy into what we're doing and how it works. It's huge.
And off of that, I've talked about them already. Looking at the rest of your roster, for guys that don't maybe follow the Junior Flyers as closely, who are some players that we should keep an eye on down the second half of the stretch here?
I would say Adrian Martinez. He's from Switzerland, a forward. Gianni Dini, Nick Kiemel. They're 3 great forwards that I think are really going to produce in the second half. They already have some decent numbers, but I think they're ready to explode. And on defense, Brian Siebold and Kyle Harris have really improved as times went on. And I think most importantly, sometimes they get overlooked, but we've had outstanding goaltending considering our record right now. Both of our goalies are in 9.2, 9.3 save percentage categories, and one just got taken up by an NA team last weekend. So I think that's been a positive.
And off of that, you talked about the goaltending, which I wanted to touch on because 6 of your losses are by just a goal. And I did a story earlier in the year, and we've stayed right around 29% of the league games this year have been decided by just a single goal, which shows you the parity across the league. How tough is it to come out on the other side of those close contests, and what do you need to do as a team differently to have that margin go in your favor?
Well, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because I don't know if you recall, but I would say last year in our 35 wins, we probably won 30 of them by a goal, and we probably won out of those 30, maybe 25 of them in the last 5 minutes of a hockey game. And that basically comes down to, and I know it's a cliche, but it comes down to, and I've been preaching it with these guys, learning how to win. Teams that know how to win are calm at that point of the game. They make safe decisions with the puck. They let the other team make the mistakes at that time of the game, and they capitalize. And that was huge for us this weekend because when we beat the Bobcats on Monday, it was an OT game, and we're 0-5, I believe, in OT. So it was, I think, a turning point. We learned how to win one of those games instead of losing those games.
And that will be big, definitely, for the second half of the season. And one final question for you, Jerry. Obviously, in my league role, I've talked about the January showcase a lot. But for those fans that don't know as much about what's going to take place in your building in January, why should fans rush to Iceline January 19th and 20th for that showcase weekend?
Well, it's going to be huge because not just because our league's there, but the top midget players in the country are going to be there in the Tier 1 Elite League, which is going to draw a lot of Division I colleges, USHL guys, OHL guys. So the top young players in this league are going to get exposure to guys that maybe don't necessarily come to an EHL game. They'll be here at those games. So it's going to be an added bonus for the younger players. Maybe not the 97s this year, but anybody that's 98, 99, 2000 in this league will get a lot of added exposure to their play.
So there you have it, folks. Make sure to circle January 19th and 20th on your calendars as the Philadelphia Junior Flyers host the fourth and final showcase of the season. It's going to be the first time in league history where the EHL will have 4 games going on at the same time in the same building. So we're definitely looking forward to it. And Jerry, this weekend, of course, has the Connecticut RoughRiders for 2 games at Iceland. So good luck tomorrow and on Sunday, Jerry, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot.